Good morning, Mark Sett with HurricaneTrack.com here with your Hurricane Pro and HD video blog for the 8th of August, 2017. Hope your Tuesday is going well. Let's take a look at what's happening with the latest on Tropical Storm Franklin. This is the 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time advisory package. Winds are 45 miles per hour, the pressure up now just a little bit to 1,001 millibars, so it is still a tropical storm. It is moving to the west-northwest at 13 miles per hour. Let's see if the tracking maps have updated. Yep, this is the latest tracking chart. And even though it does not show Franklin becoming a hurricane in the plots here, it won't surprise me in the least if it does, in fact, become a hurricane. The water temperature over this portion of the Bay of Campeche is warm, and not only is it warm, but we can see in here it's warmer than it should be. So we have a positive anomaly. It's a little bit on the warmer side of normal, so we call that an anomaly, and that, with other factors, should allow this to become a hurricane, in my opinion, even though it is not expressly shown in the forecast plot here from the National Hurricane Center. The other reason I think that it should become a hurricane, it's still fairly well developed, even though the winds have certainly dropped from yesterday. It's down to 45 miles per hour, but there's enough of an inner core in here. The center of circulation is well defined that I just think once it gets to that warm water, it'll ramp up, and it should have enough time to do so. And so folks over here along parts of the Mexican coastline should be preparing as if a Category 1 hurricane were heading your way. That makes good sense anyway. Looking at a close-up shot of the system, again, a fairly well-defined central core in here overall, and it's got a huge area of convection trying to develop over on the east side. The outflow in the upper levels of the atmosphere is still fairly decent, and all it needs is this warm water of the Bay of Campeche, and it should develop. And like I said, it's my opinion that it will become a hurricane, and the guidance suggests that as well, which we'll look at in just a moment. In the meantime, out here in the open Atlantic, this is Invest Area 99L, still kicking and hanging in there. Some of the computer models are suggesting that as this moves off in this direction, that maybe it'll try to develop further, so we'll watch that in the coming days. All right, so looking at the track forecast overall, pretty straightforward here for Franklin, generally on a west to just north of west track into Mexico by late tomorrow night, early Thursday morning. And the intensity guidance shows a fairly sharp uptick overall in intensity once the system moves back out over the water in less than 12 hours from now. And then there is some evidence from some of the modeling that it becomes a hurricane. And like I said, that won't surprise me in the least. The upper level winds, looking at a couple of different perspectives. This one shows the ranges here, different areas of the atmosphere, and generally speaking at the 200 millibar level, these blues, fairly light winds overall near and around Franklin, and that'll allow for some development. Over 99L, however, strong upper level winds for the most part over here, not allowing this to do much now, but down the road, if we look at this from a different perspective, where we add the greens and the yellows, well, we didn't add them, the folks at the University of Wisconsin, they added them, and it helps us to understand this is all the red area through here with 99L, so that means stop. It's not going to develop right now. We got to get that to change, and I think it's going to do so over the next few days, and certainly the global models are indicating that this pattern through here will kind of reverse itself to one that's more favorable for development as we get to the weekend. And then we have greens over here, even though I'm drawing on it in red, indicating the favorable area for Franklin to take advantage of. The vorticity signature for Franklin, very healthy, nice and round in appearance, and that, I think, also lends credibility to the idea that this becomes a hurricane over the Bay of Campeche. And then the vorticity trying to concentrate a little bit more, still elongated overall, but is trying to focus a little bit more right here with our Invest Area 99L out over the Atlantic. Interestingly enough, the GFS ensembles based on the 6Z run, the 6UTC output, all these different versions of the model with slightly different variables, generally speaking, we see this little envelope here developing, showing that, you know, the model is picking it up again. The GFS was most aggressive from the get-go, and then it dropped the idea completely, and now it seems to be coming back on board. And if we look at the intensity guidance for 99L, also, you know, more evidence here, especially in the 96 to 120 hour time frame, a pretty steady ramp up in activity and intensity towards 5 days. So once we get near the weekend, maybe 99L will become a lot more interesting. We'll just have to wait and see. Certainly plenty of warm water, warmer than it should be. I showed this just a moment ago. Again, the Bay of Campeche, warmer than normal overall, colder than normal here in the equatorial Pacific, lending even more credibility to the idea that the hurricane season will be a very busy one for the Atlantic. And if Franklin does become a hurricane here tomorrow, that would be the 9th of August, and so we would be pretty much right on top of the average date of the first hurricane forming in the Atlantic, which is August the 10th. Normally by August 10th, we have our first hurricane, so it may just do that. We shall see. All right, well, that's it from me for today. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. Thanks, as always, for checking in with us. I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com. That's my website. And for Hurricane Pro in HD, and I'll have more for you tomorrow.